If you're the sort of person who yearns for a simple life, this video is probably for you. How many times do we overcomplicate our lives, filling it with absolute nonsense, and we end up really stressed? If you follow 5 solid principles, you can guarantee yourself a more simple life. The first step is to declutter the space which you live in. Often we buy and consume absolute nonsense, and this leads to our living environments being filled with junk that we don't actually need, and it costs us a fortune. So if you can minimize this, you can live a more simple life. The next point is to create a more simplistic schedule. How often do we have overzealous calendar appointments, agreements to meet people, watch things, do things, and we just get consumed by lack of time and overwhelmed by trying to fulfill too many things? If you can schedule 1 or 2 items in a day and you know when you're going to do it, it leads to a more simplistic life. The third point is an old classic which I've brought up many times, is to limit the digital consumption. Don't overload yourself with the nonsense on TikTok or on Instagram and you're getting bombarded with complete and utter trivial nonsense where you feel that you're trying to maximize your time and cram more in, and it's absolutely unnecessary to try and meet the expectations of others or the lifestyle that is fabricated by others online. So if you can cut that out, you can make things more simple. The fourth step is to be mindful about your spending. This leads on from the point of having a cluttered environment. How many times do we impulse buy or consume multiple hose reel attachments that we don't need, or other things that are just unnecessary, but we clog our houses up with them and it costs us a fortune? Evaluate whether you actually need something, and that way you can live a more simple life. And the final step is to be self-sufficient. Often we're over-reliant on other people doing things for us. We don't need a lawn technician to come around and advise us on 50 different ways to eradicate weeds from our grass. We can probably do it ourselves. And this overwhelming outlook where we think about all the options and things that people are trying to sell us and do for us, and it just creates complexity in your mind. To avoid that, you'll be pretty simple in your view. To reiterate those 5 points once more: declutter your space, simplify your schedule, remove all that digital nonsense if possible, adopt a mindset where you're only buying things that you actually need, and try and become a little bit more self-sufficient. And that way, you'll live a more simple life.